Hello everyone, I Kuldeep Sharma welcome you all to today's session of 20 GK question which we have specifically curated from the Hindu newspaper. So let's look at the questions for today. So the first question is regarding electronic voting machines or EVM. As you must know that in all the elections which take place in India, including your Lok Sabha elections and as well as your state legislative assembly elections or the local elections, we are using this electronic voting machines. So my question is simple. When were they used for the first time in the Lok Sabha elections? जो present election इस साल होने वाले 2024 में, तो जो लोक सभा elections हुए थे first time EVMs किस elections में, लोक सभा elections में use हुए थे? So four options are there. Was it 1982? Was it in 89? Was it in 1998? Or was it in 2004? So the EVMs were first time were used in the 2004 Lok Sabha elections. So everywhere for all the constituencies, wherever there was no other problem, EVMs or electronic voting machines were used in the year 2004 Lok Sabha elections. Next question. So the Indian Oil Corporation or Indian Oil IOC, it's a PSUs. आपको पता होगा Indian Oil Corporation है, HPCL है, हिंदुस्तान पेट्रोलियम एंड योर भारत पेट्रोलियम BP. ये तीन कंपनीज हैं जो आपकी एक्चुअल में गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ओन करती हैं, जिनको अपन पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग्स बोलते हैं, ऑयल कॉर्पोरेशन कंपनीज बोलते हैं. सो इस कंपनी ने IOC ने हैज पार्टनर्ड विथ विच अदर कंपनी to produce या manufacture lithium ion cells. So you must know कि lithium ion cells होते हैं, they play a major role in all the electronics, not even accepting anyone. एक को भी आप exempt नहीं कर सकते हो, exception नहीं कर सकते हो. सारे electronics में you will find that we are using lithium ion cells, including very importantly your EVs now in the coming days. Also जो solar power के battery system होते हैं, सोलर पावर प्लांट्स के जो बैटरी सिस्टम होते हैं जहां पे स्टोरेज होगा, दोज ऑल्सो यूज लिथियम आयन. So IOC has partnered with which other country? Four option. Is it the Panasonic company? Is it Tesla? Is it LG? Or is it Samsung? So answer here is A, Panasonic. Next question. So you must know Unified Payment Interface, UPI payments, which each one of us are now doing on a daily basis. So I am simply asking you, what is the daily limit of UPI transaction per person per day? आप हर दिन कितना transaction कर सकते हो through UPI? What is the maximum or ceiling of it? So is it 10,000 rupees? Is it 1 lakh? Is it 5 lakh? Or is it 10 lakhs? So answer here is B, 1 lakh. So it may differ from bank to bank, but in general, the daily limit is rupees 1 lakh for a person. Next question. So next is regarding one syndrome. Syndrome is basically one happening which was happening, a kind of I should say a deficiency which people were facing in Havana. So that phenomena was known as Havana syndrome. So Havana syndrome, what does it means actually? So there were certain medical symptoms being experienced by US and Canadian diplomats and intelligence officials stationed in Havana. So I am simply asking you, Havana is the capital of which of the following countries? So is it of Cuba? Is it of Haiti? Is it Jamaica? Or is it Puerto Rico? So answer here is hey, Cuba. So it is not like that this phenomena, this medical symptoms which was faced by US and Canadian diplomats was only in Havana, but because it was the city of Havana where it was first observed, that's why this syndrome was known as Havana syndrome, and Havana being the capital of Cuba. Let's look at the next question now. So your Central Bank of India, which is your Reserve Bank, which of the following is not a function of the Reserve Bank of India? So Reserve Bank of India, the primary duty is to do monetary policy and other functions are also there. You have to explain it to me, yeah, you have to mark that option which is not a function of RBI. So first option is it provides a loan facility to the businesses and ensures economic growth. Second, it issues, exchanges and destroys the currency notes. Third, it acts as a regulator and supervisor of the financial system of India. Or fourth, it manages foreign exchange. So it does three of the things, but it does not do is this. It does not provides loan facility to the business. And that is because जो RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, it does not directly interact with businesses or companies. It is only the Reserve Bank of India is actually banker to the government. It provides loans etc. to the government of India and only to banks and financial institution. which means it does not interact directly with the ultimate consumer, which are basically the customers like you and I, common citizens of India, as well as businesses. So RBI does not get directly involved with them. Next question. So the investigation into potential violations of the new Digital Market Acts by Apple, Meta and Google involves which jurisdiction? So I'm basically asking, this act, Digital Markets Act, which actually regulates Apple, Google and Meta, and tries to find out if they are involved in any anti-competitive activities, or are they trying to manipulate the digital markets in their country. So you have to tell me, Digital Market Act is a regulation or is a law in which country? So is it in the USA? Is it a law of Australia? Is it Russia? Or is it none of the above? So answer here is D, none of the above. We have done it earlier also. I've explained it to you, Digital Market Acts in a previous class, also in our Hindu news analysis. So this is actually a regulation of European Union, which has the strictest Digital Market Act of any country. Next question. So the minister, External Affairs Minister, has recently quoted something that he stated that India will get a permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council. However, we have to work hard for it. So I'm simply asking, how many members in total are there in the United Nations Security Council? So India has also been a member, a non-permanent member of United Nations Security Council, and now India is trying to get a permanent membership of United Nations Security Council. So for example, in the United Nations Security Council, there are permanent members. So there must be some number of permanent members, and there are some non-permanent members which keep rotating every 2 years. So there the non-permanent members take their seat for a period of 2 years. So what are the total number of members in a particular year in the United Nations Security Council? So 5, 10, 15, 20, and the answer is 15. 10 is your non-permanent members and 5 are your permanent members. Next question. So which organization or entity developed the conversational AI known as reference resolution as language modeling realm, designed to rival ChatGPT? So you must know ChatGPT, which is a very famous open language model, and it is also a conversational AI. You can actually converse with it. It can provide you with a very human-like answer. So similarly, many other companies are also creating such kinds of GPTs or chat GPTs. So Realm is another such a conversational model, and I'm asking you, which of the following company has actually developed this Realm model? So is it the OpenAI, is it Apple, is it Facebook or Microsoft? So answer here is B, Apple. So Realm actually belongs to Apple. ChatGPT is actually owned by OpenAI, and Microsoft is actually an investor in OpenAI. Next question. So which of the following company was reprimanded by the Supreme Court for publishing misleading advertisement for its medicines as COVID cure? So recently, yesterday only, there was a hearing in the Supreme Court, and actually the CEO and one of the known faces of that company was present in the Supreme Court to personally apologize to the Supreme Court for giving such kind of misleading advertisement, and possibly a case of perjury would also be filed against them. Perjury. So in the comment box, if you can explain to me what do you understand by the term perjury, then it would be a very good step by you. So explain to me, what do you understand by the term perjury? I hope it is visible. So which company was reprimanded? Reprimanded simply means कि किसी को डांटना. डांटना means reprimanded. So scolded by the Supreme Court for publishing misleading advertisement. 4 options: Bharat Biotech, Serum Institute, Hamdard or Patanjali, and the answer is Patanjali. So it was Baba Ramdev and Balakrishna, Acharya Balakrishna of Patanjali, who were actually present in the Supreme Court to personally apologize to the Supreme Court. Next question. Which charity operating in several countries affected by natural disaster or conflicts had 7 of its workers killed in an airstrike in Gaza? You must know that presently the Israeli armed force is actually acting in Gaza, and as of last count, more than 32,000 Palestinians have died due to action by the Israeli armed forces. So this is the current situation there. Many countries, including USA, which is supporting Israel, has accepted that there is a famine Famine is basically when there is full shortage of food, there is no food available. A situation of famine is actually in Gaza. So many charities, NGOs are involved in serving food and other necessary medical supplies to the residents of Gaza. So I'm asking you, a charity, a very famous charity which was operating in the Gaza Strait was targeted, and 7 of its charity members died in the last airstrike. So which of these charity I am talking about? So was it the members of Red Cross? Was it Médecins Sans Frontières, which is a French name for Doctors Without Borders? Third is World Central Kitchen, or D, Islamic Relief Worldwide. So answer here is C, World Central Kitchens was the charity whose members actually died in an airstrike yesterday. Next question. So China has recently released Chinese name for 30 places in an Indian state union territory, which it claims is part of South Tibet. Which Indian state or UT is being talked about here? So you must know that China, after Prime Minister Modi visited that area, actually came out with a notification wherein it has given Chinese name to 30 places to Indian state UT, regions of that state UT, which are actually right now in control of India. So I'm asking about which state am I talking about? So is it Arunachal Pradesh, is it Jammu and Kashmir, is it Ladakh, or is it Uttarakhand? So answer here is A, Arunachal Pradesh. So China claims the whole of Arunachal Pradesh and it calls it part of South Tibet. So it calls it part of South Tibet and it claims that the whole of Arunachal Pradesh is actually a territory of China and right now is in illegal control of India. Next question. So national broadcasting policy is being framed right now. It is in public consultation and it is framed by TRAI. So it's going to regulate TV broadcasting and other rights in the TV media. So I'm asking you, what does TRAI stands for? What is the full form of TRAI? So is it Telecom and Broadcasting Regulation Authority of India? Is it Telecom Regulatory Authority of India? Is it Television Regulatory Authority of India? Or is it Technology Regulatory Authority of India? And the full form of TRAI is actually Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. So answer for 12th would be B. Next question. So the goods and services tax, or GST as we know it, has yielded a robust 20.18 lakh crores in the financial 2023-24. So recently the data for GST collection has come up and we have actually been able to increase our GST collection for this year as compared to last year by 11%. So I'm asking you, which of the following is not one of the GST tax rates? So under the GST regime, there are different tax rates for different products. I'm asking you, which of the following is actually not one of the tax rates? So 4 options. Is it 5%, 12%, 16%, 28%? So remember, I'm asking which of the following is not one of the GST tax rates. So answer here is C, 16%, because the fourth rate is actually 18% GST. And many people don't know there is another fifth rate also, which is 0%, which is actually applied on fresh products. Vegetables, your vegetables, your fruits and your dairy products which are fresh. So all of this attract a 0% GST. Next question. Which of the following items is not subject to taxation under the GST regime? So it is not like that all the goods and services are part of GST. Certain have been exempted also. It does not mean that they are charged at 0%. They would come in the category of exemption. So there is a difference between 0% and exemption. 0% shows that the good and service or that category is part of the GST regime. It is part of the GST regime. If the government wants to tomorrow put up some other kind of GST, it can do so. However, the exempted good would require a constitutional amendment to include it into the category. So I'm asking you, which of the following is exempted from GST? Is it processed food item? Is it textile products? Is it petroleum products? Or is it medicines and healthcare products? So answer here is C, petroleum products, which actually does not fall in the GST regime as of now. Next question. So which organization publishes the State of the Global Climate Report, which indicated that 2023 was the hottest year on record? So it has now become common knowledge that 2023 was actually declared as the hottest year on record, and it was the state of the global climate report, which actually first reported it. So I'm asking you, which of the following organization publishes this state of the global climate report? So is it WHO, is it UNEP, is it WMO, or is it IPCC? So answer here is C, WMO. So World Meteorological Organization publishes the state of the global climate report, and which has indicated that 2023 was the hottest year on record. Next question. So interesting question from Hindu today. So if you will look at the editorial page, the open page, the second page of the editorial page, therein there are certain questions given at the end, and therein this question has been asked. So you can go and see that question there also. So 40 years ago today, aboard Soyuz T-11 on April 3rd, 1984. So exactly 40 years ago today, which of the following individual became the first Indian to go to space? So four options. Was it Kalpana Chawla? Was it Sunita Williams? Was it S.P.K. Gupta? Or was it Rakesh Sharma? So many people should know this, that Rakesh Sharma was the first Indian to go to space aboard Soyuz T-11. Next, who is the present chairperson of Securities and Exchange Board of India? So SEBI is the organization which regulates your shares market or stock market, etc. So this is regulated by SEBI. So I am asking you, who is the present chairperson of SEBI? So is it Madhavi Puri Book? Is it Ajay Tyagi? Is it G. Mahalingam? Or is it Anand Barua? So answer here is Madhavi Puri Book, who is the present chairperson of SEBI. Next question. So which of the following country is going to remove Taliban from its list of banned terrorist organization? So four options. Is it India? Is it Pakistan? Is it Russia or United States? So answer here is C, Russia, which is going to remove Taliban from the list of banned terrorist organization of its state. So Pakistan, I don't know if Pakistan must be having a terrorist list. Then I believe that the Pakistan itself should be in that list for first and foremost. India also produces a list of banned organization under an act, UAPA, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. And I would like to ask you only, do you think that Taliban is part of UAPA or not? So you have to answer this in the comment box. However, the answer for 18 would be C, Russia. Next, who has been elected the new president of Senegal? So Senegal is an African country. So I'm asking you simply that who has been appointed as or elected as a new president of Senegal? So it is Bassirou Diomaye Faye. Is it Macky Sall? Is it Ousmane Sonko? Or is it Aissata Sagna? So answer here is A, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, who has now been elected as the new president of Senegal. So interesting thing is that just 2 weeks ago, he was actually in prison and he was the main opposition leader in Senegal. So there has been a change of guard in Senegal now, and now Bassirou Diomaye Faye, who is a very young leader, has become the new president of Senegal. So now let's look at the last question. So last question is regarding which of the following country has decided to increase the number of conscripted soldiers in its armed forces. So four options have been given. Is it India? Is it Israel? Is it Norway? Or is it Sweden? So answer here is C, Norway. What do you understand by conscripted soldiers? So conscription simply means that there can be a compulsory military service for its citizens. So many countries actually provide for compulsory military services in their armed forces for its common citizen. So one thing which you can mention in the chat box or in the comment section is which countries are there which provide for conscripted services, which has the provision for conscription in their constitution or in their law. Second question which you should know is whether India has compulsory military service or not. I'll also give you a hint. Go and read your Article 23 of the Indian Constitution. Article 23, Clause 2 of the Indian Constitution. Go and read this. You will find an answer to this. Okay, so indirect answer. In the next 20 GK question or in the next Hindu news analysis, I will explain to you how Article 23 Clause 2 applies in India and whether India has compulsory military service or not. So class, that's it for today. I hope to see you in the next session of 20 GK question. Thank you and have a very nice day.